Hey, what's up? It's Bill the Universe, and I'm going to do the birth chart reading of Robin Williams. And this is Vedic astrology. So, this is a bit different than regular astrology. Please remember that because there's always someone that's like, Robin Williams is a so and so sun and a so and so moon. I'm like, this is Vedic astrology, and I said that. Anyway, I'm sorry that I used Robin Williams' chart to say that. And let's get started. This is Vedic astrology, so we do things a little bit differently. It's tied into Hinduism, so we talk about stars, and there's a lot of Hindu names. I will try to keep it as much in English as I possibly can. So he is a Swati ascendant, and he is a Shatabishak moon and a Pushya sun. So he is a Libra ascendant. He is an Aquarius moon. He's a Cancer sun. So already I'm seeing femininity, and I'm seeing work ethic, and I'm seeing weirdness. I'm seeing someone who is very sensitive. I do see possibly a bit of autism, possibly a bit of Asperger's, something along those lines. I'm seeing someone who could have grown up very surrounded by resources. It doesn't necessarily have to be like rich or live rich lifestyle, but someone who was, who had resources. Swati is in the start of Libra, and he's a Swati ascendant. And the astrologer Claire Nakti, funny enough, like made all this connection with people who play princes in movies, and they were Swati ascendant. And I think that's so interesting. So I do wonder for that. And I actually know, because I'm a teacher by day. I have a student, and his parents are rich because of his dad. His dad is so rich, and he's a Swati ascendant. So Swati ascendant people tend to have rich dads or something like that. Also, Rahu. When you have a lot of Rahu in your chart, you tend to live just on the outskirts of town. You tend to not grow up like exactly in the city, but you'll stay on the outskirts. And for that reason, your parents will like be a lot more resourceful, and they will have probably more money. Maybe they might have bigger houses or just like a bigger bank account. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. And also the reason why I'm getting this impression is because not just that Rahu part, not just that Swati part, but also his sun is in Cancer. That means, first of all, the sun is your father, and then the moon is your mother. So Cancer is ruled by the moon, and so that means his sun is being ruled by the moon. So his father energy is being ruled by the mother energy. So this means that his father was probably more, what's it called? Maternal. In what way was he more maternal? It could be more that he was the one who did the cooking and the cleaning. His father did the cooking and the cleaning. Or his father was the one that was really the penny pincher, who was really good in the finance. His father could have been the one who was more nurturing, who was more, just maternal in some type of way. And also moon, when moon touches a man, when a man is moon dominant, and he is being a Cancer sun, when a man is moon dominant, this will make him cute, and this will make him, what's it called? Like, kind of cared for. And, someone who just kind of grew up, honestly, I'll just say it, kind of sheltered. You know what I mean? Someone who kind of, just grew up with the right resources. Now, I'm just going to say what I see. I love Robin Williams. He is the greatest. I have a lot of respect for him, and I have a lot of sentiment for him. But I don't know anything about his personal life. I know for a moment he said he lived in San Francisco, and then I thought he said he lived in Chicago too. So I'm just like, I don't know. But his son, this is talking about his dad. And again, this is in Cancer, but also it's the star of Pushya, which is a star ruled by Saturn. Saturn is a very worker oriented person. Saturn is also rules kind of distance. So maybe his father, but also Saturn rules poverty. You know, Saturn rules either the feet or the head. That's why it either rules the ultra rich or it rules poverty. It's like both extremes. Saturn rules both extremes. And Pushya is kind of that because, like I said, Moon is a royal planet. Cancer, you know, Moon is feminine. Moon is a princess, but at the same time, Saturn is a worker. So it could mean his father was either a very successful authority figure, like a boss. He owned his own company or something like that, or his father was like a worker, like below the poverty line, like a worker, you know. And I know that sounds weird saying that he lived a sheltered life, but then again, I just suggested that his father was poor. But that doesn't mean that, you know, like my parents grew up poor and I was spoiled. Like I had good Christmas. So, you know, it just depends on how your parents are, you know. Some parents are rich and they completely neglect their kids. You know what I mean? So it just all depends on the parents. Um, Now he's got his Moon and his Rahu. Moon conjunct his Rahu, and it's in Shatabishak. This is also ruled by Rahu. It's a lot of Rahu here. His ascendant is in Libra, yes, but it's in Swati Nakshatra, which is a star ruled by Rahu. And then the ruler of his ascendant is conjunct his Moon, which is Moon is in Jyotisha. Moon is the mind. And then from there it's the emotions too. And it's in Shatabishak, which is a star in Aquarius. And you know, I'll be really honest. This can be a brilliant placement. Um, with Rahu there, that kind of debilitates the moon. That can bring depression. That can but it also can bring like a huge surge of creativity. Like people who are heavy Rahu, first of all, Lady Gaga is heavy Rahu. Again, and she grew up like on the Upper West Side of New York City. Like she kind of grew up as a princess. You know, like I said, like Rahu kids can tend to, you know, like grow up well taken care of. Anyway, point is, yeah, Lady Gaga's Rahu, she's super fucking creative. Katy Perry is Rahu, she's fucking creative. What's his name? Steve Jobs, the guy the founder of Apple, he's a Rahu person. Like the most creative people are Rahu. And I saw that one person the other day, Sufjan Stevens. Do y'all know who that is? Sufjan Stevens. He is an indie pop singer, and he's just the most colorful, amazing singer ever. And he's a Rahu native. Rahu people are so fucking creative. And do you see this picture I chose of him with the rainbow suspenders? That is so Rahu. And looking at him now, I'm actually seeing a bit of Rahu in him. So it's not too obvious with his face. It's more obvious like in Adam Sandler's face, Sufjan Stevens' face. Who was that operatic singer? That dude that dated Katy Perry. What the fuck is his name? He has a really Rahu face. um, they usually have bigger foreheads and they usually have a bigger nose, which he does. They usually have darker looks, which he does. They usually are like, even like if they're European, they will be darker, which I'm not sure he is. He's pretty light. Those classic Rahu face, they can be pretty dark actually. But anyway, regardless, these people can just be so creative. And they can, the thing is with Rahu people, just in general, Rahu people are so, and the fact that he's got Rahu conjunct his moon, these people are so damn sensitive. these people can have like little breakdowns internally. These people can be just, they can't take like too much stress. You know what I mean? It really, really gets to them. They are wealth oriented. You know, they have a lot of sexual energy. It's just so much high creativity. And I think part of growing up outside of major cities, I think that's actually really good for these Rahu people, because when you grow up outside of a city, it can make you more creative with the resources that you have. You know, it's not like you live in the city and everything is at your fingertips. Sometimes you gotta like improvise, and so I think that's part of what makes Rahu people so creative, or a part of draws like Rahu people energetically to like living just on the outskirts of town. And also Rahu is very wealth oriented, and you know, the more inner city you get, the less real estate you get the less bang you get for your buck. You know what I mean? Versus if you lived outside of town, then you'll get a lot of more land. And and Rahu people need plenty of space. They need plenty of space. They just, they're very emotional. They can be very moody. They can be, I mean, honestly, I've seen Rahu men be childish. I've seen them like, I've seen them have like kind of temper tantrums. I've seen them be very upset, you know, at just annoyed at everything. Like I've seen them kind of switch, you know. Rahu people can kind of switch. Um, yeah, for sure. Now, moving on, I didn't even go to his lists yet. I mean, I'm just been looking at his big three. So this is what I like most. This is what stands out the most to me in his chart. So his sun is in the 10th house. That's called a Dig Bala. Dig Bala. And so that means that sun is getting the most directional strength. Sun is getting the most strength. 10th house represents like noon, you know, where the sun is directly over you. Sun is shining in all of his glory in the 10th house. When people become famous, a lot of times it's because they have a sun nakshatra in their big three, or a lot of times it's because their sun has been activated within their sun dasha. And I literally just did Madonna's birth chart, and she's a Venus moon, which means her sun would have been activated in her sun dasha in her mid 20s, and that's exactly when she became famous. And the sun is not a planet, it's an actual star. So these people who are sun activated, have a really, really good sun, it's not like a guaranteed fame, but it's promise, it's potential to be a star. You know, Beyonce is a Venus person, and she's a Jupiter moon, and I think she's a Jupiter ascendant, something like that. But her Ketu is in a sun nakshatra. It's an Uttarashada, which means that it's a star, which means that star power was inherited from the mother side. So wherever you see the sun in your chart, if it's really good, you can see that there's a bit of star power there. This is where you really shine. And where he really shines is in the 10th house of public display. 10th house is the public eye, the public display. Everyone sees the 10th house. Remember, the sun is shining in this is lunchtime. The sun is like out, you know what I mean? And it's June right now, so I'm just like really feeling the sun. But sun is out and about. He is large and in charge here in the 10th house. It's also really good for work. This person is always working. Even when even when they can't find a job, they'll make a job. Like some people at Dig Bala in the 10th house. And remember, his sun is in Cancer. Cancer is a royal sign. Because Moon is a royal planet. Moon is the queen, and Sun is the king. So He's got royal energy. Having the sun in the 10th house, yes, but which is also a royal planet, but also being in the royal sign of Cancer. So there's a lot of dignity here. There's a lot of high dignity in the 10th house, and it's not badly aspecting anything. Nothing is badly attached to it. I don't think. I don't see. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not conjunct, it's not aspecting. Good for him. Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's the real thing that I really really like about his chart. He has what's called a Buddha-Aditya Yoga. A Buddha-Aditya Yoga. These people, not only, first of all, what is a Buddha-Aditya Yoga? It's when Mercury is tightly conjunct the sun, okay? That Mercury is speech and the sun is shines, right? So Mercury is already always conjunct the sun. That's just basic astronomy. But this is when it's very, very tightly conjunct. This is where that means this is where a lot of the mental energy is concentrated. Their focus can be laser sharp. They have a very, very sober mind, even if they do drugs and yada yada yada. They have like this very intense focus. There's a lot of speech abilities with a Buddha-Aditya Yoga, which is interesting because Robin Williams is known for his speech ability. He's a comic, he's a comedian. He had a very, very unique way of telling his jokes, of being funny. His impressions are beyond reality. I mean, to this day, I'll see random Robin Williams of him just like, there's that scene when they're testing out different characters in Mrs. Doubtfire, and then one of them is this like Cuban chick, and he has this fucking like black Cleopatra wig on and like really like flamenco colors on the eyeshadow. And he just sounds like this Cuban chick. He's just so fucking funny. And that is classic traits of a Buddha-Aditya Yoga. Again, that's when Mercury is conjunct the sun, and it makes them very in command. They don't really put their foot in their mouth, and if they do, um, it, who knows why. I want to say why, but it usually always is for the good. I did a survey on the 100 most influential YouTubers ever, and I think like anywhere from 9 to 16% of all of them had a Buddha-Aditya Yoga, including Jenna Marbles, including, that's all I can remember off the top of my head. I did it like 2 years ago. But yeah, a good portion of these people had a Buddha-Aditya Yoga, because also this affects the hands, because Mercury isn't just the speech. Mercury is your nervous system, and Mercury is your hands. So they have really good hands, which makes sense because when you're a YouTuber, you're not just speaking, you are also using your hands to edit and create. So these people are, again, really, really good creators. Now, here's the really fucking interesting part. Not only does he have a very good Sun and Mercury tight together in the 10th house of public display, but he's got Pluto here as well. Now, I know this is Jyotisha. In Jyotisha, we don't really look at the outer planets. We don't look at Uranus. We don't look at Uranus, although I will if you want me to. You get it? Or we don't look at Pluto, and we don't look at Neptune. So, but I do look at Pluto, and I mean, I will look at it if it's there. If it really tells me something, then I will look at it. And I do see that Pluto is conjunct the Sun and Mercury. Pluto has a lot of power. Pluto goes deep. Pluto is a deep well. Pluto is the deep darkness. Pluto is water sign, right? Because Pluto apparently is Scorpio, whatever. Just kidding. That means that it's very, 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 very deep. It's a reservoir, actually. And so the fact that and this conjunct his Buddha-Aditya Yoga. So the fact that I'm talking about someone who has amazing speech skills, and then you're adding Pluto there, which means he has a reservoir of speech skills. And Mercury can be, in a weird way, like what's it called, multiple personality. Not because he actually has multiple personalities. I'm just saying Mercury is just such a trickster. Mercury is the messenger. And Mercury is mischievous. Mercury is a youthful planet. So when you think of Mercury, anytime you see someone who's outsmarting someone, or someone who's being a jerk, like, and getting away with it, like someone calling someone a mean word and then like laughing and running the other way or something like that, that's Mercury all the way. Even on the opposite side, when someone's got a really nasty mouth, or someone who's a real shit talker, anything to do with communication, just anything that with opening your fucking mouth, that's Mercury. So the fact that, so it means that whatever he chooses to use his very, very powerful speech skills, he's gonna leave a really, really, really deep impact. The fact that it's in the fucking 10th house of public display, that means that everyone can see his vocal skills. Everyone can see, and it's so funny because he's not a singer. Or, oh, I guess he is, You ain't never had a friend like me. You ain't never, ever like me. Da-da-da. Wow, wow. Da-da-da. Wow. You ain't never had a friend like me. Yeah. Sorry, I had to do it. My bad. But anyway, but it's just funny because you usually see singers and stuff like that. But here's a comedian with using it. It's not just that. It's also because he's got he's got sexual placements here too. Sexual energy. Okay, the thing about sexual energy is you can use it for sex, but you can also use it for creativity. So a lot of people who are not, like as promiscuous or sexual, as their chart implies, they will a lot of times use it for creativity. And the fact that he's such a Rahu person, and Venus itself is ruling over his ascendant, that's like his body. This would suggest that he either had a lot of sex in his life, or he was just he was just very, very, very creative. Just a very, very creative person. He has a lot of wealth in his chart. Rahu conjunct the moon is very wealth oriented. Rahu is very wealth oriented. Swati Nakshatra, I already told you. This has been known to be connected to the theme of a prince. Pluto conjunct Mercury in the 10th. Why is that good for wealth? Because, like I said, Mercury is all about the intelligence. Mercury rules Gemini, and that is very, very intelligent. That's actually, Gemini ascendant is the most intelligent sign, intelligent placement. That's also from Claire Nakti. I gotta give credit where credit is due. She's the one that pointed that out. But it's good for wealth because Mercury is a businessman. Mercury is good with numbers. Mercury is a high thinker. Mercury likes to outsmart. And these are all mischievous traits that you can apply to in business, because finance is really a game. And you just got to learn the rules, and you got to learn to play the game, honey. And so he has it also conjunct Pluto, which is a deep reservoir. And Robin Williams was a very, very rich person. Now, I didn't go into the details of his finances, but we know him being the most, him And I feel like him and Eddie Murphy were probably the most powerful comedians for like, I would say 2 or 3 decades. Wouldn't you agree? Like him and Eddie Murphy, you know, people who like purely came from stand up. Maybe Adam Sandler or something like that. You know, I should do his chart. Um, it's funny because he is Rahu as well. He's Ardra. He's an Ardra sun or Ardra moon. Adam Sandler. And again, that's a star ruled by Rahu, but it's also in Gemini, which is Mercury, which is writing, which is comedy. Anyway, um, oh, Robin Williams has Ardra as well. He has his Mars in Ardra in the ninth house. That's so funny. Um, that's interesting because he's a comedian, and comedians go after establishments. You know, comedians say the thing that shouldn't be said. You know what I mean? That's why comedians kind of are a little bit of a social Robin Hood, because they point out what needs to be pointed out, and they do it in such a way that won't get them killed, because they're not whistleblowing. They're hiding it in very artfully, artistically, through a joke, you know. And what was the whole point? Oh, because it has his Mars and Ardra in the ninth house. So on one hand, it means that actually he consciously spent a lot of time like trying to be in the elite of whatever field he thought was important enough to be in. So this is Gemini. Okay, so that means that he had different targets as to what elite groups he wanted to be a part of. Nowadays we associate elite groups with like the Illuminati, stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe he did attend something Illuminati related. I mean, he was very, 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 very famous. And I think there are conspiracy theories that, you know, some Illuminati didn't like Robin Williams and stuff like that, you know. But the fact that it's an Ardra Nakshatra, sorry. But that historically has been known to be a very predatory behavior, predatory energy, and it's his Mars. So that means that means when it comes to what he wants in life, especially his career, like he is a go-getter. This person is a go-getter. Go-getter. And it's in the ninth house. That's so interesting. First of all, Mars is very tamasic. Mars is very action-oriented. And when you have it in the ninth house is diplomas, is PhDs. Ninth house is the church, the mosque, the monastery. Ninth house is faraway lands, pilgrimages. Ninth house is the university. You know, it's the school. But it's more than the school, it's the college. The school is sixth house, but the college, the university, is the ninth house. The fact that he has Mars there meant that he really tackled all of these things. It also, ninth house is where philosophy lives. So it also could mean that he had a very really big gusto for, first of all, traveling to foreign lands, you know, for making pilgrimages, possibly for spiritual purposes. Um, it also meant and it's funny that I said possibly for spiritual purposes, because he has what's called a Dhamma yoga, and that means virtual pursuits dominate this native's karma. I think that's so interesting because I just talked about his Mars being his vital energy being spent. First of all, being in the nakshatra of Ardra, which means at that he pounces on his opportunities. He is a go-getter. He attacks, you know, which is also interesting because he does have big penis placements. And then the fact that he has a Mars in this very aggressive nakshatra of Ardra, and it's in the ninth house though. So again, it's a lot of sexual energy but then is being put in a very either creative channel or he's channeling into a very philosophical ways. And I just told you he has what's called it. What was it called? Dhamma yoga. Yeah, it means virtual pursuits dominates natives karma. That I read from a book from this Indian dude who's got this awesome book on yogas. And I'm still learning every day. I'm still learning my Jyotish. Every day. Every day. Sorry. Okay. Now, I do wonder about his love life because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a pretty intuitive person. I've seen pictures of him and his wife on the red carpet. They don't look that happy. Go look at pictures. Like maybe there's like a bit of a smile. Sometimes it looks, sometimes it looks like they just got out of a fight. Like they were fighting in the limo all the way over to the event, and now they're getting it. Now they got out the car, and now everyone's like, Robin Williams, over here. And now they're just like, great, yeah, our world is like completely different inside, but outside we're this. I kind of did get like intuitive feelings of that. Now, here's the thing that kind of suggested a troubled love life. First of all, anything that's 12th house from Saturn is indicated to be a type of loss. Saturn is actually the significator of loss. So anything you have 12th house from Saturn, you might experience a bit of loss there. Okay. Do you know what's 12th house from his Saturn? His Venus. Venus is a wife. So it means that in a way, he lost his wife, which is very interesting because he has Ketu conjunct his Venus. When a man has Ketu conjunct his Venus, I've seen so many times there's something up with the wife. Like either she's depressed, either she has mental issues, either she's been sick, like she's had cancer or something like that. Like there's something up with the wife. Also, here's the thing. Ketu can represent past lives. So this could mean that he's actually had, and Ketu is very karmic. So it can mean that he has had past life karmas with his own wife, that he's actually been connected to his wife before, which is also fucking interesting because as soon as I say that, I'm reminded that he did that movie, What Dreams May Come, where he is traveling through lifetimes with his wife. So I've seen that before. What's his name? And this is all for spiritual reasons too, because Ketu is incredibly spiritual. And again, it's conjunct his Venus. And Venus in a man's chart, in a straight man's chart, is his wife. So you've got that Ketu energy, which is past life connections, which is like a little bit of debilitation. Like I said, with the depression, sometimes they're sickly, whatever. So all that energy can be, and also Ketu is very, 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 very spiritual, and it can be very psychic. So it can mean that she has a little bit of mental issues, and she could be very intuitive, very kind of have, because bipolar people, they can get visions, yeah, and like I said, they can be very, very spiritual. The best thing for his wife is to like know God and to study God and to find God, find religion, stuff like that, because Ketu can be very, very tough. These people are half on earth, half not, so that's why that movie What Dreams May Come is so crazy to me, because that was almost like a reflection of what I see in this chart. You know what I mean? What's that man's name? What the fuck is his name? It's Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen. He's that preacher. He's a very, very famous preacher in Houston, Texas. And he's like half a billionaire. But he's a pastor, and his church, I've been to his church because I live in Houston. And I've been to his church. And his church is a stadium. Like when I was a little boy, it was a stadium, and then he bought it and turned it into his church. And I was there last Easter, actually. It was a stadium full of people. Anyway, what was my point? Oh, his wife had cancer, and he has Ketu conjunct Venus, just like Robin Williams does. So that's what I'm saying. Like Ketu conjunct Venus for a man's chart, it can bring issues with the wife. Not necessarily a bad marriage. I'm not going to say all that, but I'm just saying there's issues with the wife. A lot of times because it's karma for you, or it's like a type of soul contract that you're gonna help your wife with this thing, or sometimes it even means that you want to grow in a certain way in this lifetime so that your wife is gonna bring you certain challenges and certain things to deal with to help you grow, you know? So Ketu works weird Ketu is strange that way. Anyway, the fact that he's got Ketu conjunct his Venus, and like I said before, the fact that he's got Venus 12th from his Saturn, which is an indicator of loss, it can mean that maybe he's lost a wife, or it can mean that like like issues with the wife. Sorry, I had to get up and turn on my light. I was like in the dark. Dude, this is a long video. Like, I have more to say. He has a lot of artistic placements. Rahu in the 5th. That gives you an obsession with the arts. Even if he was poor, he would be 60, 70 years old, poor, with a day job, and then going to like nightclubs, open mics, and doing comedy sets like at night. When you have Rahu in the 5th, that can bring fame. Like, that can. And it obviously brought him fame. People say that's a fame indicator. I don't really think so. I think what it really does is give you such a powerful mind. Again, with the powerful mind. I'm going to call this video a powerful mind because this is exactly what he has, is a powerful mind. But it can make you really good at stocks, futures, investing, securities. It can make you really good at the arts. It can make you very good in the arts. I'm sorry. I blank. Not only that, he's got his moon in the 5th house. Now, moon in the 5th house apparently is a fame indicator. Okay. I mean, I guess it makes sense. My mom has moon in the 5th house. She wasn't famous, but she was actually mentioned in a book because she did date someone who wound up becoming very, very, very famous. And because this person was so famous, my mom was mentioned in the book. And she has moon in the 5th house. Moon in the 5th house people just have natural talent. It's naturally there. So the fact that he has Rahu and moon there, it means that he has natural artistic talent, and he might be obsessed with it too. Obsessed with growing his craft. Obsessed with expanding it at all costs. It's like a hunger. It's like an obsession because Rahu can be very obsessed. Rahu can be very unsatiated. So the fact that it's in the 5th house of the arts, and it's also very sexual too. Rahu, like I said, is very sexual, and so is the 5th house because it is Leo. Leo is this father figure. Men are dogs. Leo is the house of one of the father houses. So it's a very masculine placement. His Ketu is in Purva Falguni, and his Venus is in Purva Falguni. Venus in Purva Falguni, like I said, is a big penis placement. I know you might not want to hear that, but it's true. He has a couple of big penis. He has 2 big penis placements. One is Sun in Cancer, specifically Pushya. Those people have longer penises. They're kind of thick. And then Venus in Purva Falguni makes you not only bigger penis, but it makes you good at sex. I wonder if he was a guitar player because Purva Falguni people, a lot of them play guitar. I've even thought about doing a case study and looking up a bunch of guitar players because every time I see a guitar player, Someone's got Purva Falguni in it. I only have Mercury in Purva Falguni. That's like a very glimpse of being Venus dominated. And I play guitar too, and I barely have Venus in my chart. Um, Rahu ruled by the ascendant moon. What? Rahu ruled. I don't know. But yeah, Ketu and Purva Falguni, a lot of natural artistic talent. Ketu and Purva Falguni, these people, again, bulky penis. Like, what can I say? But these people, they just are the talent. They just are creativity. They're very visual. They can write songs. They can play instruments. They can tell jokes. They're funny. They're lighthearted. They're so intelligent. There's a lot of sexual understanding with Purva Falguni. That's a star in Leo. He's Leo Ketu. That means his south node is in Leo. Oh my god, I can just keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. I can keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But yes, I do see a bit of depression. I do see a little bit of ill health. He's got Jupiter in the 6th house. Jupiter in the 6th house, and no one fucking likes Jupiter in the 6th house. Every time I read a book on Jyotisha, every time I read a fucking book, everyone's like, if it's 8th house from the moon, if it's 8th house from Jupiter, if it's debilitated, or if your Jupiter's in the 6th house. Every time. Every time. So, yeah, he does have Jupiter 6th house from his ascendant. So that usually makes people kind of fat. I wonder if he's had weight issues. I mean, he didn't seem to have weight issues to me, but it doesn't have to mean fat. It can also mean ill health. Like I said, he has Rahu conjunct the moon. These can make for very good looking people. It can make them very sensitive. It can give them, like, maybe bipolar. It can give them maybe, what's it called? Like a bit of autism, or it can give them a little bit of Asperger's. But they will get in these swings of extreme creativity. Very sensitive people. I see a lot of wealth in his chart. I think I already said that. Yeah. Overall, it's a good chart. You know, what's funny is that I don't always see fame. Oh, well, I guess he has one. Never mind. Because he has his moon in the 5th house. Huh. I guess what I mean to say is, like, I don't always see fame that, like, screams out. You know, people are always like, this is where he gets the fame from. I'm like, okay. You know. Okay. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. Yeah. Yeah, like, this says he was born in Chicago. But then he told me, but then I saw him say that he grew up in San Francisco. So anyone who loves him, knows about him, tell me, you know. Okay. I guess that's about it. All right. I love you. Bye. Oh, hit me up for a chart reading. Bye.